Black spending matters.
Black spending matters.
Black spending matters.
If we can be able to facilitate the black dollar and put it all together, maybe we can start building empires that way.
How do you feel about how black people spend money today?
Too many of us are consumers.
Oh, we're horrible at it.
My name is Sonya Renee Taylor. I'm a wait. I'm such a, what's the word? Attention-seeking human being sometimes. So I was like, no, everyone has to be listening to me. So I am the founder and radical executive officer of The Body Is Not an Apology. The Body Is Not an Apology is a digital media and education company focused on radical self-love and body empowerment. It's a job I was at, and I was scrolling through the internet, and I saw a magazine, a fashion magazine, who had a spread of models, and then it said across the top, "The Body Is Not an Apology," with no attribution, just like they had created it. And I was like, oh, that's what happens. You know, I was like, oh, this will be on a Dove commercial. Special K will be using this to sell diet cereal in a year if I don't create a structure around this. And so it wasn't like a desire to figure out how to, merge organization, or that wasn't it. It was just, I know what this system will do, with a thing that's meant to empower us. It will absolutely use it to disempower us, to take money from us, right? And so from that impetus, I knew that we had to create things. And so today, we are, like I said, a digital magazine, an education and community building platform called The Body Is Not an Apology. If you put it into your URL, awesome things will show up. We run an online magazine, we do digital content writing, we do webinars, e-courses, coaching, workshops, all of those things. And then we actually have a social networking site built into our website that looks like Facebook without all of the crap that Facebook is. So, and then online forums where people can have conversations about these ideas of radical self-love and body empowerment and what it is that they are in the world. So the goal was to create what I call sort of the one-stop shop for radical self-love, body empowerment, and its intersection with social justice. Today, The Body Is Not an Apology is a team of 37 people in 4 countries who help us write the content, run the social media pages, edit the articles, manage the partnerships. It's a big, giant thing that I never intended for it to be, but boy, am I grateful that it is. This hasn't been updated. In August, we saw 700,000 visitors to our website. Our general engagement is around 250,000 to 300,000 visitors a month, and the content we're showing. Our content sessions are growing at about 136% in the last 6 months. We're doubling and tripling our visits because people are tired of hating themselves. And people are tired of hating each other. And so what we're seeing is just this proliferation of this idea out into the world. So, questions that I always get. Right now, The Body Is Not an Apology is technically an S corporation with a benefit corporation designation. The why is The Body Is Not an Apology not a nonprofit is the question that people ask me all of the time. And I have some really specific reasons why The Body Is Not an Apology is not a nonprofit. One, because I have a master's of administration in nonprofit management, which gave me enough information to know that The Body Is Not an Apology was not going to be a nonprofit. There are a couple of things about the structure of nonprofits that I think absolutely have to be addressed if we're really talking about how do we create social justice as the way in which the world works, right? How do we create a world whose foundation is equity, justice, and compassion? I was really clear that I was not interested in having major foundations tell me what it is that they wanted me to do. I was very clear that we had an agenda that had already been created by the community who had furthered this vision. And so consequently, the only people that I wanted to be beholden to was that community. I wasn't interested in being the hot thing for a foundation and then wasn't hot anymore next week, and then all of our funding is gone, right? Additionally, the foundation structure inherent in it is the nature of competition, which is, right? It's like, actually, what we do is we make organizations who do the most important work in the world fight for small amounts of dollars to do that work. If that is not our capitalist system ensuring that social justice work is forever marginalized, I don't know what is.
That's right.
Right? And so for me, it felt really important that we needed to centralize the way in which our funding happens, the way in which our sustainability happens, that is not at the whim of other people and that does not put me up against organizations who are doing just as important, just as powerful work in the world. I'm not putting some other small nonprofit out of business so that I can stay in business. I refuse, right?
Hey.
Also, that I want to intentionally challenge the mindset of social justice as connected to charity or philanthropy. That it's the thing you do because you're just a nice person, so you throw a few dollars at. I think that's bullshit. Right? I think that what we need to say is that social justice needs to be a primary economic engine of the society that we live in, and until it is, we will continue to pressure this system to make it such. Right? That there is zero reason.
Tweet that right now.
I hope you caught it because I can't repeat it.
Social justice should be the primary economic engine. I'm not gonna tweet.
Yeah, like equitable food sources as a charity, right? Like, not being murdered by the police as a charity.
For real.
Right? Like, accessible clean water is a charity. Medicine is a charity. Childcare, right? That's bullshit, right? No, those are human rights. And the idea that we are treating human rights as if some human rights, like if you're just kind, like if you're just a nice person, you have some extra dollars, you should give to make sure that everybody has water. That's absurd. And we don't ask any other necessity to operate that way. Nobody walks into the grocery store. Pardon the crudeness of my example, but I'm gonna give it. Nobody walks into the grocery store and says, everybody has to wipe their butt, so toilet paper should be free, right? Although everyone has to wipe their butt. But we all dig in our pockets and give Cottonelle, Charmin, Next Generation, whoever it is, our $10 to that necessity. We need to treat social justice like that same necessity, right? And so the idea that it costs resources absolutely makes sense. It should cost resources. And the question is, where are we putting those resources that it's somehow odd to be paying for things that actually improve the lives of everyone on the planet? And that's why we're not a nonprofit. And so of course that leads to the question, well, Sonya, how do you all survive? And right now is by the skin of our teeth, but I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that. So I think that's just an important framing, right? Our long-term vision, in my perfect world, if everything worked exactly as I desire it to, the body is not apology sustained by the people who are most benefited by it, right? That our users, the 250,000 people a month who visit our site, sometimes 700,000 people who visit our site, contribute because they recognize that it absolutely is part of the well-being of their lives, right? The same way having running water is part of the well-being of their lives, the same way having a roof over their head is part of the well-being of their lives. And so the question, but it's hard for people to see that, right? To see how that fits in, particularly because we're such a material world. So people are like, wait a minute, my self-development should cost me money, right? And it's because they're disconnected from the ways in which their self-detriment costs them money every day. And so the work is to help people see the ways in which they are currently paying into their demise so that they divest from their demise and invest in radical self-love.
Their potential. Black Spending Matters is dedicated to helping Black entrepreneurs advertise their products and services. We are striving to provide a platform that Black consumers will utilize an effort to support Black-owned businesses. As you all know, Black businesses continue to struggle to maintain in today's economy where Blacks spend over $1 trillion on purchasing products and services in the U.S. There is no reason we as a people should struggle to have our own businesses when we possess that much spending power.